Have you ever heard someone talk bad about your appearance, being rude about your religion, skin color, or even ethnic? And what do you feel about that? Do you feel angry? I think the answer would be yes. Who would not when somebody talks bad about you and bring about your religion or skin color? Of course, you will be angry. This kind of action, this rude behavior called racism. Racism is the belief that groups of humans possess different behavioral traits corresponding to physical appearance and can be divided based on the superiority of one race over another. Racism takes many forms and can happen in many places. It can happen everywhere in this world. It includes prejudice, discrimination, and hatred directed directed at someone because of their color, ethnicity, or national origin. People often associate racism with acts of abuse or harassment. However, it doesn't need to involve violent or intimidating behavior to be called racism. Racial name calling and jokes or consider situation when people may be excluded from groups or activities because of where they come from. It is also racism. And now, racism is everywhere. It is spreading like a virus. We can see it every day in the news about racism. The latest is the number of Asian hate is increasing in several countries in the world. One of the cases is an Asian American man, 61 years old, called Yao Pan Ma, was attacked by a man who kicked him repeatedly on Friday, 23rd April 2020. And this is only one of many cases that happen in this world every day. This is irony that we all face in everyday life, in our daily basis. Racism is not a new thing, but it rises every year. There are no excuses for racism, and racism cannot be justified by anything. And what actually caused racism? Why it cannot decrease? Why racism still exists? From my point of view, one of the factors is the lack of tolerance and compassion. What is tolerance and what is compassion? Tolerance is a willingness to accept behavior and beliefs that are different from your own, although you might not agree with or approve of them. while compassion is often regarded as having sensitivity, which is an emotional aspect of suffering. Compassion takes empathy one step further because it harbors a desire for all people to be free from suffering and having a desire to help. I think tolerance and compassion are important concepts that help people to live peacefully. We have to be an individual that has a strong tolerance and compassion. By the existence of racism, we can know that some of us don't have tolerance and or compassion. Actually, by having tolerance itself is enough to solve racism from my point of view. But having compassion can be more complete to fight racism. By nature, we do have tolerance and compassion, but it might be gone once we take a false road. That's why we have to cultivate a sense of tolerance and compassion. And the question is, how can we cultivate a sense of tolerance and compassion? First, learn about diversity. It is important for us to learn about diversity as we live in a world that has a diverse culture, ethnicity, religion, and other differences. When we learn about diversity and later we know about others' culture, religion, and other differences, we can know what kind of behavioral that is suitable or not, what to say and not, how to act with them, so there won't be any misunderstanding that leads to disintegration, that leads to racism. Second, practice self-compassion. If we don't feel compassionate enough to ourselves, how can we have a sense of compassion towards one another? So we have to be compassionate to ourselves first. Don't judge ourselves, don't punish ourselves, and don't put ourselves down when we make mistakes. Be gentle, be kind, and forgive ourselves. It is okay to make mistakes. We are just human. We are not perfect. It is okay to make mistakes. Third, practice respect. When we have different perspectives or opinions with others, respect their opinions. Don't judge their opinions. We have a responsibility to treat others with respect, even when we disagree with them. And the last is to practice kindness without people pleasing. Kindness doesn't mean selling out what's true for you to make someone else feel good. Kindness is a type of behavior marked by acts of consideration or concern for others without expecting praise or reward. So when we help people, don't expect a reward or praise. Just do it with our whole heart. Everyone, if we can cultivate a sense of tolerance and compassion in society, I believe that we can fight racism and the number of racism would be decreasing, and we will be more happier and the world will be at peace. Thank you so much everyone for listening to my speech. I'm so sorry if I made a lot of mistakes. I'm so sorry if there are some words that you cannot understand. I hope you can pick something from my speech. I do hope you can understand my speech. Thank you so much for your nice attention. It is such an honor for me to have an opportunity to speak in front of you all again. Thank you so much for your nice attention. See you in another occasion. I am Lila. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.